POS show yo. POS show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo.
What's going on? That was abrupt. We gotta find a way to make that not abrupt. It just goes bah and it's done.
Boom. We out.
I like it back in the day when music would just like fade. And the person, you're like, what happened to the person just singing? They're like, sailing, peacefully, where I'm going. And they would just like mumble more and more, and then finally it would just quiet down to nothing. Now it's just like chop. But I guess that's getting choppy.
I think that's what the song was like. Oh, you don't know what that means? Boom. Fuck you. This is choppy.
Yeah, we're choppying this at the end. Choppy me. Choppy and paste.
Control Alt Delete.
All no delete. No control.
I like that. All gas, no brakes.
What's going on?
Oh, you know what? We're cruising in through our week, buddy. It's a Tuesday. I had
It's Tuesday. It's October 1st.
It is the 1st of October. Are you following the whole winter arc thing everybody's discussing? I have
no idea what you're talking about.
So in like the bodybuilding and like better yourself community, they call this the start of the winter arc.
Yeah, I'm following that. The bodybuilding community.
I mean, it's not the bodybuilding
dudes and thongs and veiny legs.
That's fair. That did sound a lot like Diddy. What I meant by that is there are a lot of like fitness and inspirational motivation. I've been trying to cater my Instagram so it shows me that and religious stuff. And now the best is there's a dude who quotes some obscure Bible verse and then like deadlift 750 and then that was for you, Jesus, and you're like, gah.
Is that your like TikTok and Instagram streams?
It's better than the porn and the politics, I gotta tell you.
I have none of that. I have Down syndrome guys cooking.
I have that as well. And directing their own films. My man Riz got sick. I was worried.
I have that, and I have a lot of people doing dance moves to the intro of why am I blanking on his name? The one who battled Drake, Kendrick Lamar's song. That intro part, it's going to become a song, and it didn't become a song yet. So people every day do a dance to it until he actually releases the song.
That's a fun marketing tactic.
Yeah, they won't stop doing it. It's like day 15 of a guy just kind of crip walking, but it's funny because it's a lot of like white people doing a dance that if a gang found out they would murder them, but they're doing it on TikTok and showing where they live. And I'm like, this might end poorly.
I went to lacrosse camp at Messiah College in Pennsylvania. So I don't know if they'd met a black person before, like the guys working this camp, and they had a defenseman who was black, and we did this drill called the gauntlet, where you would line up and everybody would kind of take a whack as you scoop the ground ball. So he went through it, and one of the guys kind of jokingly was like, why don't you sea walk through there? And he did. And then the guy never messed with him again, because at that time, sea walking meant something different than it means today.
What do you mean it meant something different?
Like it meant he knew Crips. Like you had to be.
It still does mean that. I mean, I know people do it, but like the people that are doing it aren't doing it correctly.
That's what I meant. Like he did it correctly, and it kind of like you said, if you got caught doing it now, the gangs would still be mad. Then it was even more extreme because there was like 6 Crips and they all knew each other.
Yeah, but to call it the sea walk made me feel like it was something else.
Seas up, hose down.
No, I just felt like the sea walk is like for the C word, and it's just Lady
Well, we
walking
will.
around going, "You suck! Don't make your music so loud."
That might be what the kids in literature class call foreshadowing, Pat, and I love you for that.
Foreshadowing. It's just like a bitch is so fat she's like 4 people and her shadows all over the place. That's
Lizzo,
foreshadowing.
Lizzo, she blocks out the sun.
So, what have you been up to? It's been, I didn't talk to you over the weekend. Did you have any shows? Did you do any karate? Did you kill a guy?
I didn't kill anybody yet. I did, however, have a show. I didn't go to Skankfest like a lot of people did. I got to do a show in Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania, at a fire
Ooh,
hall. Now, when I say that to you, Pat, what do you imagine?
Rich Charuzzi being there.
That's a great idea, right? Like kind of a smaller situation. You know, it's
No,
a
he just does
volunteer hall.
firehouses. That's all I know him as. He's the firehouse
What
guy.
would you envision about the firehouse, though? I guess would be a better.
Well, I mean, it was at the firehouse. They usually have a
Yeah.
hall, and I would envision. See, I've been on firehouse shows where it's actually people from the firehouse, and I've been on shows where it's just open and they just rent the space. And I've been on all black firehouse shows, like where like they just somebody rented it out and there was a DJ and shit. And, like it just happened to be the firehouse, so anything could happen.
This might have been the greatest firehouse show I've ever done. They had probably 350 people in the room. The
Nice.
whole town, several towns over, significantly more racially diverse than I was expecting, to the point where like I could play off the uncomfortability at points. Like it was awesome. The people who got there were so nice. I was trying to treat them with respect because they are firefighters and volunteer firefighters. You know what I mean? Like that's their identity, and that's a hell of a lot more manly than what I do. So I try to, and one woman was like, "Hey, shut the fuck up and stop apologizing." And I had to explain, well, like, do you know why Aaron Hernandez murdered that dude at the club? Because he stepped on his shoe and didn't apologize. And I heard that and went, I am justified for every over apology I've ever given.
Why were you apologizing?
Just like, sorry to bug you. Would you mind showing me? And she would be like, stop apologizing. That's what
Yeah. I mean, I'd also be like, "What the shit? What are you doing?"
See,
Like,
you guys are Northerners. That's called Southern hospitality, where I come from.
no, Southern hospitality isn't like you're not saying sorry. You just go if you have a moment or whatever. You don't apologize the whole time. That's called Southern guilt.
Well, they have that as well.
Yeah, after the third or fourth time, you're like, all right, well, I mean, if you were asking for things like, can I have some butter for the food I brought here or something, then you're sorry to apologize. But if you're doing a job, you need to ask them.
Yeah, that's very true too. But they were like also enjoying it. It was the celebration of the fire hall and
Right,
things
but
like that. So I
what
didn't
I'm
want to
trying to
interrupt.
push here is I'm very happy this woman told you to shut the fuck up. Like that's what I think the best part of this story is that woman was like, shut up, and you're like, sorry. And she's like, I told you to stop being sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I'm sorry. And then you don't know how to stop being sorry.
Have you ever, the best way I could describe the position I was in, where I was just being out alpha so significantly, is I went to the open mic at the Comedy Zone, and the bouncer picked me up to say hello, but it was also a way to be like, "You're my bitch now," and it was the same
Yeah,
thing she was doing with her words.
I've been pretty lucky in life that I haven't been picked up by a grown man. And like, I mean, I'd have to be like 10.
I'm guessing we weigh close to each other, buddy, but it's because you're taller. I look like something you want to pick up.
I don't know if you look
Not
like
sexually.
something I'd want to pick up.
I'm probably gonna bite you.
Yeah, I would be like, this guy's loose and he's out there.
He's a loose
probably
cannon.
got something. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna let him like gnarl on me. Like, no, I wouldn't. If I didn't know you and I saw you, I wouldn't think this is something I hoist into the air.
He's scratching a rash I'm not aware of. I don't want to get that on
Yeah.
me.
I wouldn't hold you or anything.
That's what a lot of women say.
Did he when he picked you up? Did he hold you or did he just pick you up like Simba style?
You know when you're lifting and you do a pause at the top of a rep to like
Would you
fully.
stop with your fitness?
I'm not fitness.
You know, like when you're fucking doing 90 reps and you're lifting up a house and you're fucking like,
No. Like the point is he didn't just pick me up and put me down. Like he held for 1 second longer just to show he could, and then put me down is my point.
in front of people?
Yeah. In front of all my
This man
friends.
picked you up in front of other people, showed you that he could lift you up and then put you. What do you do after that? Do you just kill yourself? That's what I would do. I would
go-
murder myself.
Hey bud, good to see you too.
Holy shit.
Because you know what, Pat? I'm not the only person he's done that to. He's done that to everybody, including the cops in the town. Like he's just a known entity.
Score. I'm sorry, I don't drink like a fucking stuttering prick, but I would drink one to you if I could. I don't know what I would do. I mean, seriously, I can't think of what the equivalent of that would be for me. Someone couldn't pick me up. I guess if they went like, "Here he is, the world's biggest bitch," and then like fireworks went off, and then like sparklers and stuff, and then like maybe confetti, and then everyone pointed and said "gay." Like that would be the equivalent of a man picking me up, presenting me to everyone.
I don't think it would,
Like
Pat.
the
I
new
think it would be
baby of the
significantly
village?
less embarrassing. Yeah, I was Simba. He was fucking Rafiki. I love
Our
Todd.
God needs one sacrifice, and that sacrifice is baby Bobby Tempero. He just lifts him in the air. Everyone look at him. Did he like caress you? Where did he pick you up from? Armpits?
Like it was like we were going in for a bro hug,
Okay.
and then just from that position, boom, straight in the air.
Just so hugging, so tit to tit.
Yeah,
And then he got under and he lifted up with his arm. Holy shit. How
Yeah.
tall is this man?
about your height, and he is jacked. Like I don't know if there's an ounce of fat on him. I'm a big fan of Todd's.
Well, I wouldn't be a big fan of any man who hoisted me up in the air. He would own me. That's like prison. I think when you guys walk around together, you have to hold his pocket now.
I mean, in that town, I think everybody does. He was saying a
They're all
story.
holding his pocket.
He saw a cop pull him over because his inspection sticker was up. So he intentionally pulled over on a big bridge where there wasn't much of a shoulder. The guy came over and was like, your inspection's up. And he was like, yeah, you thought it was appropriate to pull me over here to tell me that? Point me at your cam. And he was like, hey, Sergeant, so-and-so, good to see you, buddy. We'll go golfing this Sunday. And verbally did the same thing to the cop till the cop just let him go. My man is a hero. I love Todd.
Why is he a hero? What does he do? He's just big and he just works at a comedy club?
It
Or
is
firehouse?
It is a comedy club. This is the Comedy Zone. This is different from the Fire.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
But like
where you were lifted up in. So
used
wait, in
to
front of
be
Mike O'Donnell, you got lifted up?
mainly Manny Santiago. I don't know if Mike was there for that. But again, Manny, what's Manny gonna say? He's probably done the same thing to Manny.
Nobody picks up Puerto Ricans. You just don't. They're squirrely.
And they have knives.
Always.
But dude, so he's just like when we were feudal, right? When there were kings and stuff, you chose the king based on who was the best fighter. And that's
Was it? I thought it was just a person that like had the most things.
he got the most things by taking them. That's the part people forget.
I thought he had the most things, and then people wanted to be around the things, so then he had strong folk around him, and he was always like the kind of a wiener, but like he was smart, and he could get the goofball strong guys to fucking goon it up.
It started with goons in charge, then the smart guys took over exactly like you said. Then it became bloodlines, and you didn't have smart guys or goons in charge, and that's when democracy took place.
But you had your smartest of the bloodlines. So they weren't smart, but it's still the smartest of the incest rose to the top.
Exactly. But the idea of being the strongest and getting what you want is lost in society. He says no. When society goes, no, it's now about brains and rules, he goes, no, it's about brawn and what I want. I'm for
What
it.
does he want?
Whatever. It doesn't really matter. You don't have a say. Just get out of his way when he's going for it.
I wonder if he picks up Glessner. I think Glessner's one eye gets all nuts.
Speaking of Glessner, January 2nd and 3rd, Harrisburg Comedy Zone, me, Glessner, and the hilarious Don Jameson.
Why'd you pause? Did you forget it was him?
I was just building suspense.
Yeah, Don Jameson. Now that he's not doing, is he still podcasting in any way, or is he now that Compound's done?
Now that Compound's done, he was doing a show with Eddie Trunk and Florentine for a while. I believe that's taking a pause as well.
They do that show all the time for like the last 300 years.
It's one of the best shows. I mean, you gotta love the guys. When nobody was giving attention to metal music, they were. And
I mean,
he,
MTV was, but yeah, they did too. Matt Pinfield was doing it first, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you know,
yeah, like that idea. Nothing wrong with that. But he's also doing his own show for a while, I believe, where it's more of guys he knows personally, and you get to know a little more intimate details. That's where I learned the plot of Crying Like a Bitch.
I saw that your friends, Bill Schultz and Joanne, are now doing audio for their podcast. They said they've been doing their podcast 7 years. I didn't realize they were doing it that long.
Yeah, congratulations to them. I think they just got a new platform as well. Two very, very talented and funny people. Bill's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and Joanne, probably the most underrated talent at Compound.
Schultz really loves drugs.
Which one?
Bill Schultz.
No, which drug?
Drugs, I said plural.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
All.
Who
He loves
doesn't?
drugs so much. No, when I started, I had missed that kind of chaos, so I started following Anthony Cumia on Twitter, and all of a sudden, my whole feed became beyond racist, and I had to stop. It was like a day, and it was just like the most. All that guy posts is he goes, "Listen to this black guy," and it's like a video. It's like that's his posting every day. Like, does he? What does he say no to? Is he just going through like the worst things ever and going, "Gotta share this, gotta share"? Everyone needs to know. It's like, all right. I don't know what the angle is. I mean, I get it. You're mad at him and you're racist, but like, what's the angle? Are you trying to turn people? Like, are you trying to get people like someone like me who isn't racist to be like, this guy's making quality points. That one black guy who was mad at a Popeyes must be like every other black person ever. The people can't be individuals. I better fucking look at this.
Yeah, no, I just speaking of that, I have a family member who's a big Fox fan. Like that's what they watch all the time.
Oh, Fox News.
Yeah, and they're a little under the weather.
I thought you meant a fan of just foxes. This guy just his favorite animal of all time is the fox. He loves it. Oh, it's the best.
I knew somebody like that. She was crazy. That said,
He hates the hound.
this family member has a friend who just went through surgery, and I know they also watch Fox News all the time. So I hit him up and was like, "Hey, is there a comedian you like?" Hoping it was, Joe DeVito or, even if it was Berg, I could get them to send a message to her. You know what I mean? Make them feel better.
You thought someone's favorite comedian was Joe DeVito?
From Fox. Like, which Fox personality do you like?
I'm not trying
I might
to
have
shit on Joe. He's a nice guy.
No, I love Joe.
That's your favorite comic. You're like you're on the suicide watch. You're one step. If your favorite comic is Joe DeVito, you're one step away from a man named Todd picking you up and presenting you to people.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful. And his voice matches getting picked up a little more than mine does. Love Joe, better writer than me, but as far as getting picked up, he's also better at that. So this friend responded with a list of people. Now I really just wanted shows because if it's Falia, I know who to ask, and if it's Gutfeld, I know who to ask. I'll get somebody. Instead, this person decided just to tell me their favorite Fox personality, which was George Murdoch. Do you know who that is off the top of your head?
Well, the Murdoch family owns it.
Well, George Murdoch is not part of that Murdoch family, I don't believe.
Okay.
And here's why. I had to Google the name. It's Tyrus. Don't call him George. That man is Tyrus. I don't know George Murdoch.
I didn't know his name was George
Tyrus.
Look at fucking Chris going, "Hey, it's almost 3:30. I better lick Anthony Cumia's balls." He makes me $3,000 a month. Yeah, he was making $1 million from Compound Media. Shut up.
I mean,
everybody, all the people that were part of that network always would trump all the money. Listen, I was in emails where it's like we have to have a fucking we have to have a fundraiser so we can give you $50 to come here. Oh
no.
They weren't doing well. But he's popular. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what's the angle? His angle isn't. By the way, I'll tell you right now, Anthony Cumia is not fishing out the most racist videos in hopes of making $3,000. He's doing it for the love of the racist game. He might make money off it, but he's definitely doing it because he really, really, really likes to go black people stink. Like that's like his favorite thing.
Well, you know what they say, Pat. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. So why can't it be both? That said, I don't always agree with Anthony's stance, but to quote my man Voltaire, while I may not agree with what you say, I'd give my life defending your right to say it.
It's licking his balls because I was obviously just making jokes and talking, and you're like, "Hey, he makes money." Like, for you to tell me what he makes and not be part of it is like crazy. Like that is presenting of the testicles. That is that's definitely what it is.
Also, let's talk after the show, Chris, and maybe we can get our numbers up to 3,000 a month. Fuck.
It's not why he posts it. He posts it because he's racist. Racist makes him money. But he does it for the love of the racist game. Do you know who isn't racist, Bobby? Do you know who is like the most incredible person in the world?
Anne Frank.
No, she's okay, alive. Anne
Aw,
Frank's
man.
probably the most incredible non-alive person.
Not really. I was gonna go with
Who's like the
MLK.
Anne Frank of daytime talk shows?
Oprah.
No, but whiter,
Megyn Kelly.
more known,
Dr. Phil.
fucking gay,
Ryan Seacrest.
lady gay,
What's her name? Rizzoli from Rizzoli and Isles. That
more
bitch is a
popular than
lesbian.
Rizzoli and Isles.
Dude.
Why would we get? How are you not getting this? We would lose Pyramid. Ellen, you fucking moron, Ellen.
Oh, dude, I don't. Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Rizzoli and Isles. Who the fuck would guess that? Wasn't that a show with the guy from Saved by the Bell?
No, that was the other show.
What's that called?
Fuck.
On
I did this.
TNT, we have drama and shit shows.
What was it? Franklin and Bash.
Franklin and Bash. Oh, what was the other Bash? Was there something else in Bash?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was Ellen.
Ellen. Thank you,
Yeah,
Chris.
Ellen.
I could have used you in the chat.
I watched the Ellen stand-up special that just came out. Did you watch the Ellen stand-up special that just came out?
No, I did not.
Because she was going to talk about all the people saying that she's mean. She was going to address this problem. You know how like Louis did it? Remember when Louis was like, I'm going to address me jerking off at people. And then he literally addressed it and then like talked about it and then moved on.
Yeah.
Well, you know what Ellen talked about in this special?
Eating pussy.
Well, you like pigeons?
Mike Tyson does.
Well, guess what? She did fucking 12 minutes on pigeons. And then as I said out loud to my girlfriend, oh my God, I hope she stops talking about pigeons. She did something else. Then she goes, yeah, remember earlier when I mentioned pigeons? Like she fucking brought back pigeons. Like she revisited pigeon thoughts.
That Ellen DeGeneres special, my favorite.
She talked about pigeons for a while. She just did her regular stand-up act. But at the beginning, she was like, remember when I was gay and everyone loved it? Like literally it was like, I was the first gay. Nobody was gay before me. And then I had a gay sitcom and I was like, I'm gay. And everyone's like, oh my God, she's so powerful. She's the Rosa Parks of gay. She's so amazing. It's like, I'm so happy that when I saw this, I was happy Rosa Parks is not alive because Rosa Parks would be really annoying if she had like Twitter and a show and she like, remember the bus? Like, yeah, I remember the bus. I get it. You're on the bus.
Do the
bus. Do the bus. They're all doing it. She comes on and they have a cardboard bus and she's coming, she's shuffling through and they're playing the wheels on the bus. Go round and round, even when you're brown. They go around and they drive through and she comes out, she's like, whoa, whoa, and the horn beeps. And then she's like, she's dancing around the bus. Like, it'd be a fun show.
I wish Rosa Parks Bethel was more like Ellen DeGeneres. She talked about the tough issues like lesbian daughters and pigeons.
Rosa Parks the bus. That would be her special. So fucking Ellen DeGeneres, the Rosa Parks of fucking female comedy. She's like, I came back to address the issues. So she starts saying like, people said I was mean. And
hang on,
you know,
just
and
real
I don't
quick
think I was
before you go to
mean.
Ellen. I had one more Park the thing. You know, remember that show where they fix your house and they go,
This old house?
that bus, move that
Move
bus.
that bus. They
What
can
if we-
do it.
What if we set up a prank show and we called it Park the Bus and we threw Rosa Parks on that bus and we went, Parks that bus. And it was us trying not to move the bus, not let him get the home.
Yeah, or you can do what you do is you have you take someone's car like Pimp My Ride, but you Parks My Ride, and you just make the back seats really nice.
And
You
you're
don't do
like, "Oh,
anything else to
okay."
anything else in the car. You just fucking redo the back seats real nice.
I love that, actually. I'm going to call
They
my
come back
friends
to
and
like it's
MTV.
still a Dodge Dart. Like, did you see the fucking back seat?
Yo, we heard you love social justice, so we threw social justice in your car. And then it's just a bunch of white Antifa kids.
So,
they, them
social
now.
justice ass.
Oh, God.
Bobby, you have a future in broadcasting, according to the guy who knows a lot about Anthony Cumia's payroll.
Well, Chris, we could use a financial expert, so hit up us.
So Ellen's special, and I went into it open-minded because I always thought Ellen I never watched like the Ellen talk show, But I know, I mean, she was fucking super popular. I mean, she was huge, and people loved her dancing around and being stupid, whatever she did. It's fine. Listen, you do whatever you want with your money in life. But as a stand-up, she was compared to Bob Newhart back in the day, like where she had that kind of like really brilliant, weird takes on things, and was very good. But I wanted to hear her talk about the shit she went through. If you're gonna do that, I'll do my last stand-up special ever. I want to address this thing. First of all, she's so popular that all she would say is like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like standing ovation, and like so many fat white women just doing the Arsenio Hall, like woo, 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 and fucking cheering. They're all fucking like woo, like you don't understand. Like at the end,
comedy's
she just
Elvis.
at the end, she's just like, I'm a great person. I was the first gay. I'm amazing. I love people. I work harder than anyone. But you're not a firefighter or a coal miner. You fucking had a talk show. She's like, I was the best. And then when she said, she goes, and I don't care what people think anymore. And then all these fucking fat white women just get up and like, woo, dude, for like 4 minutes. Like, where she just stood there and basked in their fucking just white lady energy. They're like, woo. Like the half the special is just women going and gays just going woo like the whole fucking time, and the jokes were okay, but it was just observations. Like, you ever see a pigeon? It just walks across the street like, what are we doing? We're doing it. We don't even fly. We're walking around. And they're like, woo, pigeon talk, and they're fucking losing their shit. There's no punchlines. It was just observations. But then when she finally got to it, she goes, "Yeah, people said I was mean to them and stuff, but like, I don't think I was." And like, that was it. She didn't address it. She just kind of fucking said it. But like, to get you on the board, she just kept reminding you, remember when I was the first gay? And I was like, yeah, you were the first gay. There was no gay before you. Before that, it was just angry women not sure what they were going to do. And then you were the first gay.
I don't like that. Like,
my girlfriend just reminded me that she also, in quote, brought her dumb wife out.
Portia came out?
Yeah, Portia came out, and Portia's not looking that great. Portia got a little thing. But Portia came out like she did not want to be out there. She's like, hello, for encore, she's like, here's my dumb wife. And then Portia comes out and like, hello, I'm Dorsha.
I did not threaten to hit her if she did not come out.
Yeah, I didn't threaten to fucking hit her with a shoe if she didn't come out here.
Oh my God.
Portia was famous before Ellen was famous.
Well, you know what they say about Portia. Her mom couldn't afford a Honda, so they called her a Portia.
They called her Portia. And her sister, like, Coupe de Ville came out, and she was like, hello, I'm Coupe de Ville.
And they're like, oh, no, we don't like you.
There's a Portia. And they didn't even, like, do it. They didn't. Here's the funny thing. It's her last special ever, right? You can tell the relationship's not going well because it's her last special ever. She's saying she's going to retire and whatever. She's all happy. Like, she's gardening and she's raising chickens, I guess is what she does now. That's what Ellen does. I don't know. According to this dumb special. But, oh, by the way, so much fucking wordplay that you would hate. Like, she take a word like log. She goes, is it log? Is it log ed? Is it log dead? Is it log dead? Is it log? Log led? Log dead? Log guy dead? Log guy. Like, it was like that for like fucking 4 minutes. She had a stroke every time she read a word with 2 G's in it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then at the end, she brings out Portia, and then she goes like, here's my wife. And then they kind of held hands, but they didn't like embrace. There wasn't like a kiss. There wasn't like a hug. You would think like my last thing, and I'm like the gay. You think she would just do some gay shit at the end, like like just scissor or fucking just go like that shit, like from what's that movie? They do that the fucking Dumb and Dumber. Yeah,
for my final joke, I'm going to give you guys all what you've wanted for the past 30 years. Here's me and Portia scissoring.
You think she would just take her vagina and wear it as a hat and be like, like, I'm the most gay. Good night, everybody.
Queen of the gays, give me my Portia crown.
I'm the white Oprah. Good night. And just start fucking going nuts.
That's fucking terrible.
So I wanted it to be good. And it was, obviously she can't relate to people. So that's why she can't write any materials relating. But like, it was just, I mean, the jokes weren't bad. But if this was a special, if you didn't tell me the date of it, and take out the part where she's like, I'm retiring in the talk show part, and she just did her jokes, you would think this was from 20 years ago.
Okay.
It was just observation bits that can't be offensive in any way.
Well, I mean, that
like,
was her bread
and butter,
what
men can
right?
do, women can't do. Do you know, Bobby? You know what men do that women don't do? Men pretend to have a golf
Run
swing
a country
without a golf club. They just swing the golf club, and then someone's like, "Are you waiting in line for a latte?" He's like, "Nope, you go ahead. I'm just swinging my imaginary golf club." And then women go, "Woo, woo! That was a great observation." Like, like it was just that. And tickets must have been $5 billion, and I couldn't imagine. And she's like, "I just love being out here." I'm like, "You just made $1 gazillion. You made like Anthony Cumia Twitter money. Like that's how much money you just made."
We need to pump crack through the air system just a little bit to give everybody that extra pep in their step.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if they did like laughing gas through the place.
Something like that,
When you watch it, the laughing was insanity. Like if we could, Bobby, if you could, like, and I'll tell people, we just pull that cheering and put it on my album every time I told a joke. It's just, and you know what? I don't even care about that. Let's just, on the video part, let's just pull Ellen's actual audience and with Ellen on the stage but far away. So I tell a joke and it's just, I'm going, woo! It's all these women in the theater that's back to me at comics. Like,
why did Pat put a wig on every time he told that joke?
Why did Ellen put on 300 pounds every time she started telling jokes?
Like, did she
Ellen
get
is
fat?
A stick figure. No. I mean, it would be me.
Okay. It would be funny if that was Ellen's next move.
Yeah. Oh, and Portia also has the short haircut now too, so they look like two David Spades just coming out.
Oh, I love that. David Spade's like, God damn it, she took all my jokes.
Do you think David Spade would watch the two of them make love just so he could watch himself make love to himself without a dick?
I kind of had a threesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but it was fucking a waste of fucking time.
That sounds utterly terrible. I wish she still was a comedian, because like if you're a comic and you get to the point where on your last special you feel the need to address people being mean to you, you should be able to do something like, "You want to see me be mean? This is me being mean," and then pull up a picture and be like, "You're a fat bitch." Pull up the next one, be like, "You're secretly gay, Terry. Just come out." Pull up the next one, be like, "We're not going to talk about what you did with kids, Epstein."
Yeah, like, and I would appreciate that like crazy. We're not going to get that, but I was hoping for like a medium, like right in the middle. Like I really thought she'd come out and be like, so a lot of people just as me. It was mostly people that worked for her. So I would have been like think of, I don't even know who accused it, but just to spitball one thing, she could be like, this one woman was complaining that I would always order her around and make her go do this and make her go do that. It's like, you're my assistant.
It's called being your
you're
boss.
Literally
you
supposed
bitch.
to assist me. You also got a thing called a paycheck. You know what I mean? So it's not like I wasn't paying you to do this thing. Sorry, I was so mean that you got Christmas bonuses. My bad. You know what I mean? I would have addressed it like that. Instead, she just literally just said, I always ended my shows with like, be good to each other. And I think I did amazing. But she kept talking about how hard she worked. And I'm like, don't get me wrong. Show business is hard. It's not. But when she was in the peak of that and was famous, she didn't have to do shit. That show was just pumping it out. It was just working no matter what. She just had the guests came in. She just did a stupid dance. Fucking someone showed up. They went to the promoter thing. Some kid with some weird ailment would come out and go, I can sing Kelly Clarkson songs. So like, all right, Frodo. They'd come out there and go, since you've been gone. And they would just yell shit. And then she would dance to it. And then she like, here comes a black guy. And I'm going to pretend like I'm not racist. And the black guy would go, I'll dance on TikTok real good. And she goes, I'll dance good too. And they would just dance together. And then they're like, here's a fat woman with 12 kids. Let's give her a car. It's a tiny car. And it's like, she can't fit any of the kids in it. Like, that was the show. It's like, you didn't work hard. You just gave away shit. Like, when people are like, Bob Barker worked hard. What? How did he work hard? He's like, spin a wheel, cripple. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, they bang out 6 shows a day in 3 weeks, and he's got a year's worth. Absolutely. But the only thing I will give Ellen credit for is she did come out in a time where that could have been the end of her career. Like it was not at the time yet where like now it's truly encouraged. She came out at like kind of the curve of that point where it was just becoming tolerable.
I get what you're saying, but if she came out live on stage or in an interview, I get what you're saying. But it was literally on a taped episode of a fucking sitcom. So she had the network and everyone behind her. She had like the fucking rocket pack striped to her going, this is it. If we're going to be able to talk about a lesbian, they were going for ratings and for everything. So like they knew that they had her back no matter what. And it was because it was put on TV and put in that way, you were going to look like an asshole if you didn't cheer it on. It was manufactured as fuck. Like, I bet you Ellen isn't even gay. Like, I think they were just like, listen, you're a mediocre white woman and you've got a goofy haircut. what can we do with you? Like, I don't know, let's make her gay. And then they just made her gay for 30 years. They go, here's Portia, drive this around for a while. She's loopy. We don't know what to do with her. And then and they're like, well, what do I do when I'm gay? I can't just have a show every week be gay. Like, no, we'll just give you a fucking talk show. You'll be like Lesbo Phil Donahue. And just be up there and doing goofy shit. 19 years she did that. She might come out now and go, I love cock. And you start doing that.
That'd be edgy. That might revitalize her whole career, dude.
But you know she's 66 years old?
Yes, I did. It's sad,
you
isn't it? I did. I forget why I did. Maybe she was on a list of people predicting to go next.
She's on a death poll? She has brittle bones, I guess. She said that in her special.
She's on 2 polls. She's on the death poll and she's on the Diddy list poll. A lot of people are saying they got some nasty tapes of Ellen.
Ellen was part of the Diddy shit?
That's the allegations.
I thought they fucked guys.
No, so they had guys, they had freak offs, they had the whole thing.
What's a freak off?
I guess where like Diddy would compete against male porn stars and they would just fuck for hours, like women.
They compete?
Like who could last the longest?
Kish, you're 66, but I would watch your show way before.
Yeah, and you look like less of a lesbian than Ellen.
But so it would be him, and then he would just have a thing to fuck, and then a porn star would have a thing to fuck, and they would have a contest to see who could fuck the longest? Or the
Sometimes it was one-on-one. What you're describing would be a one-on-one freak off. Then they would have like 2-on-2s where you and a partner could rotate and see who lasted the longest, and then they would have
But it's the same person being
same chick, yeah.
She just has to be
or dude in some cases.
Is she on board?
No, I mean like kinda, but not really. Like she's been socially pressured. Yeah, that's why he's going to prison, Pat. Nobody likes that. It's criminal.
I don't like this at all.
They're gonna have freak offs in prison.
What did Chris just write? Anne Heche was a good friend of Helen's.
Whoa!
And she munched a good amount of rug, and he capitalized rug, and then met a brick wall at 60 miles an hour. Okay, yeah, I mean,
whoa, easy, Chris. Annie was a friend of mine.
Annie Heche?
Annie was a friend of mine. Rediscovering the Killers lately. Big fan.
You're just saying the Killers in the middle of when a girl got killed in this story? That's not
at 60 miles an hour.
I don't think she crashed her car because she was a lesbian.
That's the story I heard. It was road puss.
She got. I hear she got killed.
She was going to release something about child trafficking. They offered.
Oh God!
Inside sources tell me she was going to do. She was going to talk about trafficking, and they killed her.
And who loves trafficking more than Diddy? Nobody.
Chinese people.
He the best.
Chinese people love trafficking. So who's a piece of shit in my story, Bobby? Is it me for watching Ellen and expecting anything besides what I got? Is it Ellen for coming out there and making you think she was going to address the shit and she just did a goofball special? Is it those white women going woo like that? Is it Portia for coming out there and not fucking like making out and doing shit? Is it Anne Heche for fucking dying and not speaking out about trafficking? Because man, I've had one person was going to stop fucking trafficking. It was goddamn Anne Heche. Who's the piece of shit?
I'm going to go with Anne Heche. Like, just watch out for the wall. What? Earnhardt already did it. Women are always trying to do what men have already done. Ellen DeGeneres is trying to do what David Spade's already done. He was an angry lesbian piece of shit who kind of ruined his career. Now he has a comeback with like a big stand-up special and he's in movies and stuff again. Now Anne Heche is trying to do.
Okay, so I was saying you're confusing Anne Heche with that guy from Jackass.
No. That's he did that too. Same with Paul Walker.
Paul Walker did it
also
too.
did that. He drove too fast, too furious into that tree. Nobody's done that joke in 20 years, but you're welcome.
Hey-o,
no, I was actually saying she's ripping off Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt also died, but that's kind of funny that he died. He didn't die in a race though, right? Did he die out in the streets?
Yeah, he died in a race. He hit the third wall at Daytona. The difference though, Pat, is he's going 300 miles an hour and she was going 60, and that's why men make $1 to women 70 cents.
I don't think that's the reason.
Give me a woman who hit a wall at 300 miles an hour.
What was that lady with the plane? Amelia Earhart.
Oh, I thought you meant 9/11. I was like, no, they're pretty strict about
9/11. There wasn't a lady on 9/11. Muslims don't let ladies drive.
No, they do not, or fly. Like,
Yeah. You can drive a plane. You don't have to call it fly. You can drive it. It's got
that's
wheels
what they
and
did. They drove it. They didn't plan on
Yeah.
stopping. No, Amelia Earhart landed in an island. They have a picture of her, and then she got eaten by a cannibalistic tribe.
She did not get eaten by a cannibalistic tribe. Shut up.
Yes,
Amelia Earhart?
yes, that they have a lot of evidence that she landed and was eaten by a tribe.
Oh, you know what? I heard about that. You know, ate her. It was a bunch of people that are big fans of Anne Heche. They're called Haitians.
Dude,
ate her.
Yes, you got to what we were doing. That's the POS show, folks.
We
It's
did
not
it.
gonna-
We did it. Haitians.
So for me, the piece of shit's Portia. You go, no, you do stand up. You should write jokes for your closer. Don't bring me out.
Well, though, to be fair, she did a closer, which really was just him cheering, then left, did an encore. And the encore was, here's my fucking wife.
Cook and roll with the Brooklyn boys. No, you don't bring Portia out there. You could drive a Porsche. That'd be funny.
She's like, I
Then
was
you, like,
Portia.
lick it when you get out.
Because I was Portia, but then I got Ellen's money. Now I'm rich.
Hey, yo, that's better than anything she did on her special checkout. Mine coming to Netflix in 2025.
Pigeons in the house, bitch. Dude, it's so
Yeah.
much pigeon talk. It's the stupidest fucking thing. It's so many pigeon jokes.
Your shit's for the birds. I'm out.
Yeah, I think also my piece of shit is Portia. Because she should have been like, she should have left Ellen. Ellen.
Bitch can't even talk.
I'm confused. I'm confusing Ellen DeGeneres and Helen Keller and a thing no one's ever done. They're just both saying nonsense.
And then people cheer him on.
Yeah, years from now, people are like, remember that person? Like, why were they famous? I don't know. I think they were mute.
She kind of did the same thing. And then people cheered. Yeah, it's the same idea.
If I wasn't nice, would my name be DeGeneres? That's Italian for the generous one.
Oh, God.
Ellen DeGeneres. But yeah, it's Portia because she should have been like, she should have left Ellen. If she left Ellen when they were mean, like, I can't, you know what? She's mean to me too. Fuck this. I'm sorry to be the trophy wife. And she took off. Then all of a sudden Ellen would lose it and fucking have to start talking shit and be like Kanye and be nuts. And we need that Ellen. We need Ellen to go down in a blaze. I want to hear some shit. You know what I mean? I want to hear about all the, like, maybe she came out because so many directors were like, hey, you should blow me. It's like, yeah, you're Harvey Weinstein. I'm gay as shit. Like, prove it. And she just went on TV and said, I'm gay. And then lady directors were like, lick my box or whatever they do. And you're like, oh, no, I don't want to do that either.
I want her to go out like Joan Rivers, where she's like the day before she dies. She's like, you know, Obama's married to a man named Big Mike. We've all seen his penis.
Joan Rivers said that before she died?
Yeah, like the day before she died. It's a trans
She
man
said
named
we've
Big
all
Mike.
seen Michelle Obama's dick?
Big Mike's big dick, yeah.
We all know she's trans. And then they killed her.
No one killed Joan Rivers.
Yeah, they killed her.
What?
She knew about Big
and
Mike.
my girlfriend should have a podcast. You two just conspiracies of things that Pat doesn't know. Like you two just pitch me conspiracies. I go, what? That's all that show would be. I don't know any of this shit. The two are like, yeah. In a secret society, Joan Rivers and Anne Heche were murdered for being ladies.
I think we could call it Podophiles.
Well, we did Podophiles. It didn't work out that well. So what do you got?
Well,
You told
I'm
me
glad-
you have to explain something.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up Ellen because it actually kind of ties in. So I found a new source. I know we were all getting tired of our buddy over at Medium, so I went searching for a news story. And are you familiar with the feminist magazine, Pat? Community United Non-Penile Talkspace?
Wait, it's called what? Community Penile Talkspace?
Community United Non-Penile, that's apostrophized, Talkspace.
What's non-penile? Like no penis?
Yeah, no dicks.
So it's a writing group about no dicks?
It's a extreme feminist based.
No, I'm not
publication.
familiar with the extreme feminist media.
You're not familiar with the Cunts
No,
magazine?
I'm not. So it's called.
Community United Non-Penile
Oh, you
Talkspace.
made this up too? Oh my god, what are we doing?
That was just a joke. I didn't find a feminist magazine. So, have you heard the story of Mickey Steins at all?
No, I don't know who Mickey Steins is.
Well, strap in. In a plot so dark, even the Joker himself might hesitate. Former Kentucky sheriff Mickey Steins has apparently taken, quote, law enforcement, end quote, to a whole new level. Murder.
Murder.
Make it official.
Official murder.
Official murder. It seems that Steins decided his judge friend, Kevin Mullins, had seen enough gavels and decided the man needed to face the barrel of a gun instead. A classic case of small town politics with a body count. You know, the sort of thing small men do when they're insecure about their power. Shoot their friend to remind everyone who's boss. How poetic, right? But make no mistake, this isn't your typical crime. No, this is male fragility at its peak. It's giving Joker, but with less makeup and more toxicity.
Ooh.
The absurd little drama unfolds in Letcher County, a quiet place. One imagines old boys' clubs are thriving, and women, well, they're probably expected to bake pies. But let's face it, when two men who've lunched together regularly decide to settle their differences in the most primal way possible, guns blazing naturally, is anybody surprised? They can't communicate, and they certainly can't handle conflict. Mullins Chambers turned into the battleground simply because these boys were playing the power game, and someone forgot to bring his inside voice. As Steins walks into court to face his charges, oh, the irony. This man who enforced the law now becomes its subject. The symbolism here is a deliciously twisted. The sheriff, the epitome of law and order, steps into the role of the villain, revealing what women have always known. When men break, they don't do it quietly. They take the whole damn system down with them. We're going to cut out that next Joker reference.
Wow, you like the Joker reference. You've done like 7 Joker references.
I didn't do any of this. And the
This feels like
Joker's,
something you did.
you think I use words like their own fragile egos?
Yeah, to throw me off.
No, that doesn't sound like me. So anyway, the whole story here is this sheriff and judge were best friends. The judge goes, "Do we need to talk about this to my chamber?" in front of like a bunch of witnesses. They go in and the guy shoots him a bunch. His story is the judge had his daughter and wife kidnapped. He tried to call his daughter a bunch. She didn't answer. The judge tried to call his daughter from his phone, and then he shot the judge. So what may have happened here is an attempted kidnapping thwarted by like I don't know. What's the example? That movie, it's a Christmas movie, Tower, Nagasaki Tower, John McClane type hero.
Die Hard?
Yeah, like where, the cops doing the right things, but perhaps not within 100% of the law. Like at the end of the day, I think he was going to have
his own hands.
Yeah. Another article came out, and the rumor was that they had been kidnapped and he was raping his daughter, and that's what he heard on the phone call.
No.
And that's why he shot the sheriff.
You should never. You didn't shoot the deputy.
It wasn't in self-defense. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the feminist author for calling this fragile egos? Is it the sheriff for just taking the law into his own hands and committing murder? Is it the judge for, like, you're a judge, you know this guy's a loose cannon, don't invite him into a private space? We'll throw it to you first, especially if you've got his wife and daughter kidnapped.
I don't know. I think it's the judge, but I don't. I think it's the judge.
Why?
Well, first of all, he's a judge. Okay. I think judges are supposed to know more than most people. He should know that there's rape going on. Like, that's a judge's only job. Judges and Ice-T in Law and Order are like the two people that always know when rape's going on. Like, hey,
Rape?
I think there's rape happening. It's like, and I think a judge would know. No one else. And then the guy who rapes, he already raped, so he's not gonna like tell on himself. So, I guess it's the girl.
The daughter?
Yeah.
For getting kidnapped and raped?
Yeah, I mean, like in this day and age, we've all been okay. If this was the '80s when people just got kidnapped and raped all the time, and there was no internet to tell you, hey, stay in, or something. But this girl, it's like 2024. You get kidnapped, that's on you. Like, you got to be able to know what to do. They've got that move now where, like, remember, like it's the move where women go to other women that give like an okay sign, and they're like, I'm getting kidnapped, and the other lady goes, then she just knows karate and fucking chops the guy and kills him or something. I've seen the commercial one time, but
that's not my purse. That's my purse. I don't know you, and then you kick him in the nuts. We've all
it's
seen
like
King of the Hill.
You don't know me. You just that's what you're supposed to yell. So you give the okay sign, and then as a white girl, you're supposed to yell like a black woman. You don't know me. And then like white women come over and just start kicking the guy in the nads. That's the way you're supposed to do it. So like, and this girl wasn't squirrely enough. And you got to be squirrely. You got to be able to get out of there and move around. So yeah, I'm blaming her.
I see. You know what? At first, I was like, boy, that seems kind of heartless, Pat, blaming the kidnapping and rape victim. But you make a very solid point. It's hard to argue
Yeah.
with.
I mean, I think it's too easy just to blame the people that did the terrible thing. Sometimes you got to blame the person that was there. Like I always say, you can't blame the drug dealer. You got to blame the drug addict. You can't blame the kidnapper. You got to blame the people getting kidnapped. You know what I mean?
For me, I've got another person we can blame. And you said it in the Ellen story when she was like, oh, yeah, it's called being my assistant. I pay you to do this. There is somebody named a bailiff who is paid to protect the judge at all times. Where the fuck is the
Rusty.
bailiff? Yeah, get in there, Rusty. Time to earn your pay, homie. You're either going to go out a hero or, your family will be taken care of for a few years. I'm not sure that bailiffs have a union. So for me, the piece of shit's the bailiff.
Bailiff, more like bailiff.
We're like, hey, go in and kill the judge, Liv.
Yeah. How much do you weigh lift?
I'm going to pick you up and show you who's the man, Lift.
Hey, do you like people being treated like shit?
Only sexually.
All right, well, you're going to hate this story then. Airline forces disabled war correspondent to crawl to bathroom on plane because it bans wheelchairs. Oh, you got to poop?
Come on, you're in a wheelchair. You have a diaper. Shit yourself.
There you go. A disabled war correspondent was forced to crawl to a bathroom on a recent London-bound flight because the airline bans wheelchairs. First of all, kudos to the fucking airline for banning wheelchairs. I bet you there's babies on there screaming and there's people like taking their shoes off, picking their feet. We're like, we're fine with that shit. But you can't walk? Stupid. You don't need to walk in the sky.
We're flying, dumbass.
Yeah, how do they get up to their seat? You just pick them up like you got picked up by that guy?
Yeah, they do.
Hoisted up like a bitch. BBC journalist Frank Gardner shared the degrading ordeal on Twitter Monday. Wow, it's 2024, and I've just had to crawl along the floor of this LOT Polish airline to get to the toilet during a flight back from Warsaw, as we don't have onboard wheelchairs. It's airline policy. If you're disabled and you can't walk, this is just discriminatory. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you should start walking. Added the veteran journo. They called him a journo, not a journalist. Journo. Who was shot and paralyzed by Al-Qaeda gunmen in Saudi Arabia 20 years ago. Oh, fuck you. Like, I'm supposed to care more because of how you got paralyzed? It's like, it doesn't matter. You weren't in the war. You were writing down about the war. Look up. Stop writing on your notepad. And then the guy said, Durka Durka, and then you get shot in the legs. They showed a picture of his legs. His legs are all dumb. They showed his legs, but his feet are going the wrong way. Yeah, this is the dumb legs. The post was accompanied by a photo of Gardner's legs. I just like the cameraman who's like, get a picture of his legs. Fuck, who's this, torso shots? Get out of here. You're fired. I want nothing but legs, baby. In fairness to the cabin crew, they were as helpful and as apologetic as they could be. Not their fault. It's the airline. Wait, if the crew was helpful, why did they pick him up and fucking let him crawl to the bathroom? Then how'd he poop? He had to pull himself up there?
How bad do you have to poop?
I didn't even know he has to poop because he can't feel his legs. Can you feel his anus?
Sir, did you fall out of your seat? What's going on? No. Oh, you're going to the bathroom? Okay. All right. Good luck.
Wait, are you hiding and seeking from people? Why are you crawling around on the ground?
Oh, God, he's having PTSD flashbacks. No, sir, there's no Al-Qaeda on this plane.
The stewardess is just pushing the cargo. I think there's a speed bump in the aisle. Every time I try to do the peanuts, I keep hitting this
Sir,
thing.
people need their drinks. He just keeps bumping his head.
Sir, put your seatbelt back on. It's like, I got dumb legs. It doesn't matter where I go.
Turbulence at that moment, just watching him stick to the ceiling with his legs going the wrong way would be the funniest thing for 5 minutes.
Oh, if you're sitting in another seat and you don't know he's got dumb legs, and you just see like there's turbulence and his legs are flying around like Kermit the Frogs, you'd be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Even better, dude, if he's army crawling and it happens, and you just see a body lifeless from the waist down fly up and get pinned to the ceiling. It's gonna look good.
God.
It's gonna be like a Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, they should have had him in the Diddy freakouts or whatever because he wouldn't even feel it. In
Freak
fairness, they're good. He also discussed the inhumane incident on BBC Breakfast Tuesday. So he did the tour. I wonder if they made him crawl in. Like I would if he was on the show for crawling, I'd be like, no wheelchair.
Okay, we're gonna put you in a chair for this. Do you have to poop now, or do you think you can make it to 30 minutes?
It is outrageous in terms of air travel that LOT, the Polish airline I traveled on from Warsaw last night, came back to London, had no onboard aisle chair. I said, well, how do you expect me to go to the loo? Well, we can help you. I don't know why he rhymed.
Warsaw is known for their hospitality.
Yes. Warsaw is known for being generous all the time. You know what I'm saying? There's some good. If it was nice, it'd be called Peace Saw.
Also, the minute you go, I gotta go to the loo, all of my like sympathy for you goes out the window.
I knew it.
Fuck you. Get to the self. Yeah. Fuck you, Britain.
Bobby hates the English for people who don't know. So the second I said loo, Bobby's like, fuck this crippled guy.
Yeah. I'm not saying karma, but
For your legs and your dentist don't work? Thanks. Well, not really, because if someone drags you to the loo, it's too difficult. I had to crawl on my backside along the floor, which wasn't particularly clean, he said.
yeah, because of other idiots who had to crawl them to the bathroom. They didn't wipe well. Now you're a
some other
dog.
guy just shit on the floor because he didn't think anybody would be crawling on it. The cabin crew were very embarrassed, and they were as helpful as they could. There was a really nice steward there who was fantastic. He was able to take my legs. Take my legs, please.
Just don't take my ass.
I crawled all the way to the airport, and boy, my legs dying. I'd give 2 legs to have a better seat in first class. Here you go. Man, this seat's got all the leg room I need. You're in the glove box.
You know his legs are just getting stuck on every row of chairs he crawls past too, right?
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, too, like, people are tripping over his legs. They want to yell. They're like, oh, yeah, never mind.
What if they gave him...
can't help tripping me.
What if they gave him a skateboard? Like that turtle video I've seen where it scares the cat? So, like, he could just prop his waist on it and at least be mobile.
Or they could have done. They probably have that thing with the wheels that pushes the luggage. They could have just taped him to one of those, like a dolly, and just fucking fired him down.
He's just on the drink cart like he's Superman. Bum, 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 ba-na-na-na.
Dude, they should have put him in the overhead compartment. But the point is, guys, it's not difficult to have an onboard aisle chair. These things fold up to the size of a pram. I don't know what a pram is, or if not smaller. And they fit into an overhead locker or into a cupboard. But so does he. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it the airline, Polish airline, for fucking not having a wheelchair? Is it the English guy for being like, why the fuck don't you have a thing for me? It's like when big fatties, big fatties are like, hey, I hate the airlines because they don't have triple extensions for my fucking girth. And they don't have a toilet for my stupid ass. Like, it's not our fault that you're like, have no legs. Like, where are you going? Why are you flying anywhere? You can't go places. Oh, I'm going to fly around. And then what? To be a tourist? You can't walk. What are you going to do?
My family
Stay
in Florida.
home. Get out of the way. Stop. I'm like everyone else. You aren't. You aren't like everyone else. You got shot in the war, but you were taking pictures of the war. You weren't really in the war. Or is it Poland? What do we do? Who's going there? Like, why would you go there? Kabasa? Polka? What is your export?
I don't think it's Poland. Just because I don't think they're the ones at fault here, even remotely. They're next to the Ukraine. They're like, not again.
Or, real quick, I'm sorry. Or is it the guy who helped out his legs?
I mean, that guy should
help him all
let
out.
Him struggle.
Why just his legs?
Oh, we both don't like him for different reasons.
Right.
It's not him. At least he did something. He did more than the people paid to help people on the plane. It's not the plane. Like, they have rules for a reason. Either there's not room for a chair, or They're afraid people can make a bomb out of it. For me, the piece of shit 100% in this story is the news reporter. Not because he's English, not because he got shot in the war 20 years ago, because he's still covering the war. Look, I get you want equality and like nobody's going to tell you what you can do or what you can't do, but there are no atheists in a foxhole, Pat. You know what else shouldn't be in a foxhole? Wheelchairs. You're going to get in the way. There's a fucking war going on. What did you bitch? Oh, there's no in the trenches. There's no wheelchair access. Like, what the fuck are you doing? There's no way that was worse than the experience you were conditioned to into the war. Like, I get it. Go cover the Special Olympics or the Paralympics. There are a lot of people like you who got shot in war. Now, they were doing something honorable, like, defending a country or fighting for what they believed in, not just taking pictures. But they're kind of like you. Go be friends with them.
Yeah, but see, I think you're missing out, Bobby. He's got to be in the foxhole. He's got to be in the trenches now because you can use him as a human shield because you can just get shot in the legs.
Oh, my God. He's got
pick
fucking
him up.
adamonium legs.
But the second they start shooting, they pick him up like you got picked up by that guy in his fucking sim style. Just block the bullets with his stupid legs.
ZZ might get the fucking Husey Award for when you hit turbulence. Do you think it looks identical to a ventriloquist struggling with his puppets? Stupid legs flopping all over the place.
Oh, shit. Was it? Yeah, you're right. You think it looks identical to a ventriloquist struggling with his puppets, stupid legs flopping all over the place. ZZ wins the Husey of the day, dude. That's fucking great.
God.
My piece of shit is not the guy. I mean, yeah, he stinks. It's the people that were Saudi Arabia 20 years ago that shot him. Like, okay, when you shoot people in a war, no one's gonna care about the reporter or the journalist. You just made a more annoying guy. Like, that's worse than killing, like, heroes or children or whatever. Just shooting a guy so now he has a platform to not stand on.
A platform that electronically raises him in and out of the water.
You just made an annoying man. Like, he was just a regular reporter that people are like, oh, that's kind of a cool job. And now he's like, you understand the war every day. It's like what I was through. I served. Like, no,
nobody threw me a parade when I came home.
Right, yeah, it's like, I'm born on the 5th of July because no one even cares about the 4th. Just like, no one's going to play you in a movie, stupid, because you said Lou. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck that. You do bring up a good point. Best case scenario, you've killed a journalist, and that's now like a flagship cause for whatever team you're fighting. Best case
remember
scenario,
the guy who drew the pictures of Muhammad, whatever? What's his name? Like Charlie Ass, whatever. And they're all like, oh, he's great because he's dead. But if he was alive, he'd be so annoying. Like,
right, that's
like,
even worse.
Remember when I drew Muhammad and they tried to get me? Like, yeah, we do. It's like Ellen. Ellen and the guy with no legs is the same thing. It's like, remember when I was gay 30 years ago? Like, yeah, we do.
I'd have him on my show, but he can't dance.
Yeah, you're right. He can't. Dances with the Stars. He's like, I can't even do that.
A hand jive.
He's on that show. What's the show where they sing but they dress up like some things you can't know who they are? The Masked Singer. But he's just on there and he's just a wheel. You'll never guess this.
I got shot. No, it's that fucking loser from the war. Oh gosh, what a piece.
You got
of
one
shit.
more before we fucking
do you
run
want
away?
one more quick one?
Yeah.
Let's dive into a chilling saga of neglect, shall we?
Guess who can't dive? That guy from the last story.
Oh, he can. He just can't kick back up. Apparently, nothing says, I'm an alpha male, like turning your home into an igloo of death. I mean, who needs therapy when you can stuff 54 animals into a freezer, right? That's practically a TED Talk on how to avoid accountability. Step 1, freeze the evidence. Step 2, pretend you're a victim of cancel culture when someone dares to question your life choices. Let's be clear. This is what happens when men are allowed to run amok without a single ounce of emotional responsibility. Do you think a woman would ever decide the freezer storage is an acceptable solution for 54 dead animals? No, because we're too busy carrying the weight of society on our shoulders. But let's not forget the real villain here, internalized misogyny. There's always that one woman who thinks she's one of the boys going along with the madness because, God forbid, she stops to consider that maybe this isn't how any living being should be treated. Of course, this is the peak patriarchy. These guys can't even have the decency to bury their problems literally or figuratively. Can you imagine the conversation that must have led to this? Oh, we can't be bothered to care for these animals, but let's not worry about that. We'll just freeze them. Problem solved. Because nothing screams male problem solving skills like hoarding dead pets next to your TV dinners. Honestly, this whole situation feels like a sordid, twisted commentary on the male psyche. And this story, if you don't know all the details, is 3 people were arrested, 2 guys, 1 girl in Lancaster County for having 54 frozen pets in their freezer. They were running a kennel for cats and dogs, and when they died, they would just freeze them instead of burying the evidence. Who is the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it the misogyny that led to the death of these animals? Is it these people for freezing the animals? Just bury them. Is it these people for being white? Like, if they were
Oh, no.
Haitians, boy, the Trump campaign would be all over this. We'll throw it to you first.
Well, I think I'm the only one you can throw it to, but yes, but I don't know because I know you're gonna say it's women because you kind of hinted at that at the beginning. You're like women. You got mad at women in the beginning of that for like no reason.
No, they were saying it was internalized misogyny, the author of this article.
Yeah, it is. It is internalized misogyny.
Is it really?
No, I don't know what that means. I like that phrase. That sounds like a band that I wouldn't go watch. Like, opening up for live is internalized misogyny. It's like, oh no, those guys. I know I keep blaming victims, but it's the animals. It's like once again, you're gonna do it too.
I was gonna do the animals, yeah.
It is the animals. It's like it's like once it like okay. So last night, I think it was last night. My days are all mixed up. I was driving and I was driving down a road where it was like a woody road, and there's like a sign that says, beware of deer. And most people don't beware of deer; they just fucking drive, and that's how shit happens. I was driving, and I saw one deer crossing the street, so I slowed my car down and I stopped, and I saw a second deer about to come out the road from the bushes. He stopped, and I swear to God, dude, he like looked at me and like acknowledged that I stopped. He gave like a nod. And
Hell yeah, dude.
And 2 other baby deer behind him. He turned around and they went back in the woods. Like, thank you for not fucking crushing us with your car. That you're being a good person. And I was like, yeah, I'm one of the greatest people of all times. And then I fucking left. Now, those animals knew how to get out of trouble. But these are fucking 50-something fucking stupid animals are all getting fucking caught and frozen and put in a fucking thing. Like, be animals. I'm afraid of so many animals. Like, I'm afraid of more animals than I'm not afraid of animals. You know what I mean? Like, animals are terrifying. I've talked about this on many times, but like, I'm afraid of any animal I can't figure out how to fight. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm not afraid of a bear, but I would know how to fight a bear. But I'm terrified of a turkey vulture and a goose. You can't fight those because their necks are wacky. You can't punch it. They got wing moves. They can do shit. I can't fight them. I can't fight a snake. I don't know how to fucking fight that. But all the animals that were caught, I bet you are animals I could fight. I bet you all those animals are ones I could just fucking punch. So yeah, it's animals.
I am also terrified of snakes, but I do know how to fight them because I worked at a camp in Mississippi that was run by a priest. And the code would be like, oh, I see a green something if you saw a snake. So I went to my car to smoke a cigarette one morning, one of those devil cigarettes. Got high, step out, there's a cottonhead. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I go grab the priest. Actually, I grabbed the cook because the rumor was the cook would catch the snakes and then release them into the woods. And I went, and he was like, I'm cooking breakfast. Go tell the priest. So I told the priest, and he just threw a shovel at me. And then we went and beat the snake to death. And then his dog ate it for dinner. So I do know how to kill it. I'm just still terrified of them. But for me, it is the animals. You don't smell animal death around you. You don't see your brother dying, and you don't fight back. Strength in numbers, baby. Sure, one dog might not be able to take down this kennel. But if 3 of them start attacking one dude, the dogs are going to win. Are my dogs in the house? Woof, woof, woof. Yes, they are.
Oh, no. Don't do it.
So that's who my piece of shit is. It's the animals. Fight back. Like, if you're in a situation where it feels like there's no win, right? You have 2 choices. One's kind of like the worst. The other's kind of like the other side of the worst. And you just decide to choose between of one of those 2 choices. I think you deserve your fate. You should fight back and go, both of these are unacceptable. I'm going to make my own path.
Bloodbath.
Okay, don't say that if you get the metaphor.
All right. So we did it.
We did
It's
done do
done.
it.
And anything else I got to read from the comment people? No puppies. Yes, women would have. I've seen hoarders. Okay, yeah, see, he's right, ladies. Jake Hudson, what's up, by the way, for saying like and share.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Jake.
you, Jake Hudson. And everyone else that was here today, ZZ and Kish and fucking Chris, even though he's fucking, here's the balls of Mr. Kumia, and he holds them up like you got held up by that guy. And everyone else that was in there today, we appreciate you. Bobby, you got things you want to plug and shit?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to plug is I'm doing a show with Mike Bichetti. It's supposed to premiere tomorrow at midnight.
Mike Bichetti, the president of cartoons?
The Midnight Mike Bichetti. That's the name of our show, Midnights with Mike at 11. He's a little too excited about it, so if we kind of, he wants to put it out now, and I'm like, just wait, we got to keep a schedule. But we negotiated, and if we hit 1,000 subscribers by 11 tonight, we'll put it out a day early. If we don't hit that goal, it's an extra day. Just wait.
Where are you at numbers wise now?
I did not check. We just made it public before the show, the YouTube channel. So like we were at 0. So we'll see where we're at now.
Does he have that kind of popularity when he'd get 1,000 people?
He might. He does have
I don't know.
a cult-like fan base. So
right, but they can't read, right?
Some of them can. We've hit, I would like to say, 1% of our goal. So that's a good start.
That?
No, we did. I just wanted to make sure the math was good.
I'd like to say that. The other guy would like to say he has legs, but he does not. So
no, he does not.
Please like and subscribe. Be like Jake Hudson. Not in any other way in life, but in that moment, be like Jake Hudson. Like and subscribe. Share it. Let people know that we like the show. Go over to the Patreon, POS Podcast on Patreon, and do that as well. We'll be back on Thursday at 3:30 for another riveting episode of Who's Got Legs or Pimp This Car or whatever you said before. I don't fucking know.
Fuck the British.
But and if you've got some money in your pocket and you feel like helping someone out, we appreciate if you help us out, but more importantly, now that Ellen's not working anymore, I think everybody should chip in and send her a couple bucks. I think she needs it.
Of course. So
let's all help her out. Because lesbians can't get jobs. You know what I mean? It's so hard for a white woman lesbian to get a job these days.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. If you can't slap them, punch them.
Wait. I've actually got a little bit of advice today. And I forgot that. And that is, we talked about the British and how terrible they are a lot of this episode. And remember in World War II, things weren't going great for the British until the Americans decided to turn it around. We're at Tuesday of your week. Maybe things aren't growing great, so be your own Americans. Save yourself. Because there's truly nothing more American than that. And on that note, if you can't join them, beat them. And don't be a piece of shit.
POS show yo. POS show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo.